Hello lovely people, it's Cara here and I am so mad, and I am so mad. This is the Friday of the weekend after going to Birmingham, so I've had all week, so I'm looking decidedly Friday nightish. Look at my hair! I don't think you've seen my hair. I have pink hair. It's coming up a little bit gingery on there, maybe reflecting this, but it is, I assure you, it is a sort of light pink stroke lavender. No one is more shocked than me that it actually coloured. Haven't coloured my hair for years. Saw a really light pink box of hair dye and thought, oh, that'll look pretty. Maybe it'll be sort of, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Actually came out quite pink. Hello, Loba. Can't see her, but she's here snapping and sniffing and all sorts. So I'm really excited to share with you my Birmingham fabric haul. Oh my word, what a lovely experience. Went up on the Friday, it took me 4.5 hours to get there. I principally was the taxi for my daughter, who was meeting a friend that she'd never met before. They met online about 18 months ago. Obviously I wanted to make sure it was all safe and everything, so I met the person. They were lovely, they went off, just stayed in town. And of course, I knew that Birmingham had a rag market. And I had limited research on that actually, but I knew it was there. And so, yeah, we went our separate ways safely. So Birmingham, if you've not really heard of Birmingham, just had the Commonwealth Games there, so you may have seen some footage of Birmingham. And it's a city of many parts, which is a lot of cities of many parts. So you've got the main centre where the Bull Ring is, which was a very modern, of its time, sort of development. Is like a cylindrical block of flats essentially. That's what it looks like. And then you've got built around that now is a very modern shopping centre, and it was very modern back in the day too, but it's been extended and added to. And then you've got a little way off that is what I would class as the colonial centre, which is also known as the jewellery quarter, and it has got some beautiful buildings. I hope I remember to take some pictures of some of these things, so I'll sporadically put those in. And then just moments from the very modern area is what I would describe as an uninvested industrial area. And that is where the market is. It's also where they've repurposed some of the area to hold the Commonwealth Games. So when we were there, and in one of these pictures you can see in the background, right in the far corner, is the stadium seating and stuff. When I asked the waiter, I said what they're going to do with it now, and he went, "They'll just go back to a car park." So yeah, it was not a great accent, but he was from Liverpool. But anyway, not Birmingham. But he said it's basically going to go back to a car park, which is a shame. I will show you some fabrics in a minute, I promise, but I just want to give you a bit of background. I had some feedback last week that I don't really talk about where I live very much, and I appreciate some of you from all parts of the world, not least all parts of England. So I will put some pictures here. I apologise heartily. I kind of forgot that I'm a YouTuber, because I forgot to take any footage at all. But please forgive me, because it was over 40 degrees. This doesn't happen in England, it just doesn't. It was over 40 degrees, and an 11-minute walk from the centre of town to Barry's Fabrics, which I'll talk about in an additional video later on, was 11 minutes. Felt like I walked across the Sahara. I had sweat where I didn't even know I could sweat. Genuinely. It was grim, and it sapped the life out of me and Molly, my daughter. Not least because we were staying in a travel lodge, perfectly nice hotel, bottom end of the scale, not known for their air conditioning, and it's true, they have none. And we had a fan that was about this big in a 41 degree first floor room. So that did hamper our experience a little bit, only because you get so sapped and so tired. I wanted to go to Guthrie, which is only 30 minutes on a bus, but it wasn't going to happen. I just couldn't. I had no energy left whatsoever. But anyway, it's another top tip for you. If you've never been mass fabric shopping before, please take one of these. This is a super shopper. Basically, it's a shopper on wheels, lovely little handle and things like that. You can hear the ice cream van, I think, making a sound. Anyway, without the aid of a shopping trolley, as in like a, not like a Tesco shopping trolley, but not a supermarket trolley, an actual shopper on wheels, I would never have been able to purchase the volume of fabric I have. And you'll see over the next three, yes, not two, but three videos, how much fabric I have purchased. It was sensational. I loved every second. Let me put the few pictures that I have taken in here of the market itself, because as I say, we were right in the centre. We stayed at Central Moor Travel Lodge, which is right in the centre, just around the corner from the car park and all that sort of stuff. It's relatively easy to get to. Yeah, no major hassle. Perfectly fine but basic hotel. And the Rag Market was 4 minutes from there, and literally around the corner from the shopping centre. If you just literally put into Google Rag Market Birmingham, it would take you there. It was predominantly a fruit market or a grocery market, so whereby they sell fruit and veg in lovely bowls and arrangements, and like, get your fruit here, bananas, £4, you know, tomato, all that sort of stuff. That sounded very Cockney. I apologise. It wasn't Cockney. It was Birmingham. I don't want to inflict my Birmingham accent on you, or offend anyone. But it was lovely to hear that sort of atmosphere. And in all honesty, when they said a rag market, I didn't really know what to expect, and I didn't want to build up my expectation either. Because I just wanted to go with the flow. Because a market is a market. You only get what you get. It will fluctuate from day to day. We were very impacted by the heat. There wasn't as many people there. Maybe there wasn't as many traders there, because there were actually only about 8 fabric stalls there. And of what was there, which I'll probably explain in the next 2 videos too, the fabric choices were limited actually. There were a lot of plain coloured cottons, there were a lot of linings, there were lots of nets and tools, there were lots of Indian fabrics, and by that I mean like sheer fabric with beautiful embroidery on and sequins, just not wearable to my style of clothing. So it did take a lot of seeking to find fabrics that you think, I know what I can make with that. And wearability, as you know, is my main strapline. So it did actually take quite a lot of effort, but nonetheless I had great fun, really good. And we went out for dinner in the evening, which I'll pop a picture in here. I think that was the first photo of one of my, with my hair in pink, but I am boiling hot, so it all looks a bit flat. So it's been unbelievable here. 41 degrees Saturday and Sunday in Birmingham, predominantly because of the internal city heat. Excuse me. And then Wednesday, torrential rain here back at home, which we need because we haven't had rain for weeks, and it's actually drought conditions. Oh, excuse me. This is, I confess, okay, small brackets around this bit. This is the second time I filmed this. I filmed a 40-minute video for you, no sound. So I'm very much praying that this is working this time, because you can't test it halfway through. So I'm a little done with videoing, but I love it, you know this. So let me show you the fabrics. So in no particular order, I am going to show you the fabrics that I purchased on day 1. So I arrived at the fabric market at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. They were closing at about 5, and so end of the week for them. This is literally what was available at that time. I'm now looking at the fabric thinking, is that true or not? I think it is, yes. Okay, let's just pick one and go for it. So you have to bear in mind, as I said, it was literally what was there. I was hoping to buy lots of viscose, but I did have some patterns and ideas in mind. And I think you would need to really kind of be focused on what you actually need versus what you can see, because you could just get sucked in, I think, to the amazing bargains that are available. Snapshot here, I didn't pay more than £1.50 per metre for any of these fabrics, significantly less, okay, in this particular part. So there's just no particular order, these are just whatever the order they pick them up in. So this is a beautiful khaki jersey, and it is so soft, okay. This is, it's either modal or it's bamboo or something, because it is awesome, okay. So traditional t-shirt weight, it's got beautiful stretch both directions. Super lucky with this one. This was on a remnants table, and I may well use this picture in another video as well, so but I'm going to show it to you here. Everything on the table was, I want to say 50p a metre. So this, and there's basically 4 metres here, so I think this cost me about £2. Yeah, and actually in fact it's longer than that, but it's got quite ragged cut edges on it, on the cut edge, so but absolutely stunning. It is a t-shirt weight, but if you used a pattern like Sew Over It Georgie dress, I think, has got a double layered bodice on it, and the skirt would be actually nice, quite and drapey, I think. So you'd definitely be able to use it for more than just t-shirts. Oh my word, with 4 metres, I'm going to be wearing this for the rest of my life, I think. And do you know, it was so interesting for me, because they were, all the fabrics were 50p, 75, £1.50. You kind of felt like you had to buy, and when they were 50p, it was a minimum of 2 metres purchase. Fair enough. But you kind of felt like you needed to buy enough to sort of know you're not going to miss out, the fear of missing out sort of scenario. And this was the first fabric I purchased, actually. I remember that much. This is a glorious cotton jersey. And I don't specifically know the composition, but I can just tell by the feel of the fabric that it's about right. It's a navy background with these lovely red and white flowers on it. I absolutely adore it, and I intend to make a wrap dress out of this. The Sussex seamstress has just released a really lovely dress, which I'll pop a picture of here, but yes, that is just lovely. So that'll be a sort of transitional wrap dress, I think, but £1.50 a metre, 3 metres, cannot go far wrong with that, can you? Another jersey. Now, did I say that I predominantly bought jersey? I apologise if I didn't mention that before, because that was what was available that was wearable. I had hoped to go in and see more summer weight fabrics, but in all honesty, we're going to have, what, another 3 or 4 weeks left of sort of great weather, if we're lucky. As Ruan said on her video, it's going to rain just in time for a holiday. I've got the last week in August off. I'm only at home, but yeah, I'm sure that's going to be the case for me too. But printed jerseys are really hard to come by anyway at great prices. So when I saw all of these, I've got nothing to complain about. Look at this. This is glorious. It's actually a panel print. So you've got this lovely light blue and turquoise panel on the side, and then these lovely tile prints, which is predominantly what this is. This is £1 a metre, and I'm going to save this one for next summer, because I absolutely have a vision of a lovely jumpsuit, wide leg, that sort of thing. I can absolutely see me wearing that. You know, I recently love blue and white, although blue was my colour of my childhood for sure, up into my teenage years. So I'm going to save that, because that's quite a summery fabric for next year. This is another favourite. Oh my word, look at this. Look at the colours in this. Now that's a deep grey in the background, and then a beautiful, quite true to colour actually, red with these lovely flowers. Again, this was £1.50 a metre. And I just, you know, the guys selling these fabrics were so genuine, because I think I say, yeah, I kind of walk up to these stalls, and some of the stalls have 50p a metre above them, all just handwritten on a piece of cardboard, or £1, everything on this table £1 a metre, minimum 2 metres, whatever the stipulation was. Other tables didn't have any prices on at all. And as I walk up to the stall, you can see the chap calculating what price he thinks he can get away with, because I'm absolutely certain there will be levels of payment that would be acceptable, and I didn't do any bartering, but I'm absolutely certain I could have bartered. I didn't, because they were so genuine. This was £1.50 a metre. I asked for 3 metres, and then they cut it, and then this other chap who turned out to be the boss came over and said, I'm going to be honest with you, love, there's big holes in the selvage here, so I've given you about 4.5 metres knowing you'll get away with 3. And I said, oh, thank you for your honesty. You can't get more honest than that, really, can you? It is white on the back. She says let go of it. It's slightly white on the back, which is not uncommon, is it? Not great when I stretch it, but I've got to make something that I don't need to stretch. That's the key to that. And I could absolutely see a gorgeous maxi dress made out of that. I bought one recently. It's quite Bowden looking, a pattern that is. So a simple V-neck, very simple sleeveless bodice. It's got some sort of waistband in the middle, I think, and then a full skirt. Oh, can't wait to make that. That's going to be very exciting. Again on the same stall, and you did have to dig around a bit, which is quite fun actually. Again for £1.50, got hold of this lovely zebra print, and that's actually chocolate brown. They did have it in black too, but I just thought that was so much fun. This has got predominantly stretch. It's equal stretch each way, I think, but it's quite lightweight. It's sort of a viscose jersey, really, maybe more like a cotton jersey. Not quite sure what I'll make with that yet, and again may well be stashed till next summer for a really fun number. Yeah, just great. But how lovely is it to have, really unique pieces of fabric? No one else is going to have these, I don't think, not that I know anyway. A couple more to show you in this particular video, and this one. This is sort of a crazy animal print with a cream background. This is slightly more heavyweight. I got 3 metres. Again, it was £1.50 a metre. But I am thinking a beautiful winter dress out of this one. Because of the black, you can easily pair that with boots and tights and things. So I'm looking forward to that. And it'd be nice to have, a light background to a nice winter dress. I just think that's going to be so much fun. And the last piece of fabric I want to share with you in this video, but trust me, there's a lot more fabric to come in next week's edition. And it was this one. Look at that. Yay! How cool is that? It's got spider's webs all over it. I just think that's such good fun. Yeah, good. And that was £1 a metre. Can't argue with that. And it's just for one of those moments where you just think, oh, if I get invited to a fancy dress party over Halloween or something, I'm going to be able to make a beautiful shift dress with like a sheer overlay. You can imagine a really simple long sleeve t-shirt dress made out of this, then with a slip underneath. I got 2 metres of that, and it's super wide. I'm trying to fold it back up again so I keep this all neat, otherwise it'll turn into chaos, I tell you. But honestly, if you're going to Birmingham, you'll have so much fun. It was all so easy to get to. So if you imagine you've got sort of an inside and outside market, the inside does have all sorts of bits and pieces in it. It also had a few fabric stalls in, but I couldn't see anything there that I wanted to buy. And I can't really describe why that is. There was just lots of polyester and bright colours and stuff that I just wouldn't use. But you basically got the inside market, the outside market, of which there was about 8 stalls on the day I was there. And as you can see, that gave me a lot of variety, and there's more to come next week as well. When you were standing in the rag market, you could see the fancy silk store, which is what I had heard of on YouTube from other people who've done Birmingham fabric hauls. In case I forget to mention it in a future video, I went in there and I don't know what it was. It's a beautiful shop, really nicely curated, floor to ceiling, absolutely hundreds of bolts of fabric. Oh my word, couldn't hardly move for fabric. It was incredible. Really friendly people. I was looking for the Maraflex thread actually from Gutterman, but they didn't sell it and hadn't even heard of it. But because it was an actual fabric shop, that makes sense. But I think it was because I had just come from such beautiful chaos, and from the 50p to 75, £1.50 a metre fabric, with a bulging shopper of fabric as well. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pay, which was really, really unfortunate. But I didn't see anything I wanted, because there were lots of poly cottons, there were lots of quilting cottons, there were lots of top end sort of Indian wedding fabrics and things like that. I just didn't see anything that really floated my boat, and the sort of, I don't know, it was all too pristine and crisp for me. Had I gone on a separate occasion, maybe I'd have been all right. And then from there, it's an 11-minute walk to Barry's Fabrics, which I'd also heard of. So it's really accessible. I was on my own. It is quite an industrial area. It's quite a diverse area. Some people might not have been comfortable walking in that area on their own, because there wasn't really anyone else there. And you have to bear in mind, it was 41 degrees. I felt like I'd walked across the Sahara in 11 minutes. I was dripping, as I said before, in places I didn't even know I could sweat. It was mad. But I'm going to talk about the Barry's experience in a video on its own, just to be fair, because I'm talking a lot here already. But I did just want to give you a snapshot really of just how accessible it all was. And Birmingham itself, it has got a lovely vibe about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed watching my video. So stay tuned for part 2, which I'm going to film next week, and take you through the second half of what I've purchased in Birmingham. I think I'm going to end up doing 3 videos, so I hope that's not too overwhelming, because I also bought some fabrics from Barry's Fabrics, and they are sort of in a little bit of a class of their own, so I think it's fair that I do it that way. But in the meantime, I hope you've got some lovely sewing plans lined up. Please don't forget to give me a like, leave me a comment. I love hearing from you. Thank you for all the lovely comments I've had over the last week, some fabulous suggestions, and talk about the she shed, and asking for more footage or more vision of where I live, so hence some more pictures of Birmingham, where I was obviously. And I'd love to hear from you, and I respond to every single comment, because I absolutely love being part of your world. I do genuinely feel like I know some of you, even though I've never met you. So take care, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care.